Happy Marnie's Day. Today, I want to remember Bernard Hill, who delivered a fine performance as King Theoden in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, who has sadly passed away. So this is my dedication to him. Thank you. The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Chapter 8, The Road to Isengard, an excerpt. For a moment, Theoden and Eomer and all his men stared at them in wonder. Amid all the wreck of Isengard, this seemed to be, to them, the strangest sight. But before the king could speak, the small, smoke-breathing figure became suddenly aware of them, as they sat there silent on the edge of the mist. He sprang to his feet. A young man he looked, or like one, though not much more than half a man in height. His head of brown curling hair was uncovered, but he was clad in a travel-stained cloak of the same hue and shape as the companions of Gandalf had worn when they rode to Edoras. He bowed very low, putting his hand upon his breast. Then, seeming not to observe the wizard and his friends, he turned to Eomer and the king. "Welcome, my lords, to Isengard," he said. "We are the Door Wardens. Meriadoc, son of Saradoc, is my name, and my companion, who, alas, is overcome with weariness," here he gave the other a dig with his foot, "is Peregrine, son of Paladin, of the house of Tuc. Far in the north is our home. The Lord Saruman is within, but at the moment he is closeted with one Wormtongue, or doubtless he would be here to welcome such honourable guests." "Doubtless he would," laughed Gandalf. "And was it Saruman that ordered you to guard his damaged doors, and watch for the arrival of guests, when your attention could be spared from plate and bottle?" "No, good sir, the matter escaped him," answered Merry gravely. "He has been much occupied. Our orders came from Treebeard, who has taken over the management of Isengard. He commanded me to welcome the Lord of Rohan with fitting words. I have done my best." "And what about your companions? What about Legolas and me?" cried Gimli, unable to contain himself longer. "You rascals, you woolly-footed and wall-pated truants! A fine hunt you have led us. 200 leagues through fen and forest, battle and death, to rescue you. And here we find you feasting and idling and smoking. Where did you come by the weed, you villains? Hammer and tongs! I am so torn between rage and joy that I do not know burst. It will be a marvel." "You speak for me, Gimli," laughed Legolas, "though I would sooner learn how they came by the wine." "One thing you have not found in your hunting, and that's brighter wits," said Pippin, opening an eye. "Here you find us sitting on a field of victory, amid the plunder of armies, and you wonder how we came by a few well-earned comforts." "Well-earned?" said Gimli. "I cannot believe that." The riders laughed. "It cannot be doubted that we witnessed the meeting of dear friends," said Theoden. "So these are the lost ones of your company, Gandalf. The days are fated to be filled with marvels. Already I have seen many since I left my house, and now here before my eyes stand yet another of the folk of legend. Are not these the halflings that some among us call the Hobbits? "Hobbits, if you please, lord," said Pippin. Hobbits, said Theoden. Your tongue is strangely changed, but the name sounds not unfitting so. Hobbits. No report that I have heard does justice to the truth. Merry bowed, and Pippin got up and bowed low. You are gracious, Lord, or I hope that I may so take your words, he said. And here is another marvel. I have wandered in many lands since I left my home, and never till now have I found people that knew any story concerning hobbits. My people came out of the north long ago, said Theoden. But I will not deceive you. We know no tales about hobbits. All that is said amongst us is that far away, over many hills and rivers, live that halfling folk that dwell in holes in sand dunes. But there are no legends of their deeds, for it is said that they do little and avoid the sight of men, being able to vanish in a twinkling, and they can change their voices to resemble the piping of birds. But it seems that more could be said. It could indeed, Lord, said Merry. For one thing, said Theoden, I have not heard that they spouted smoke from their mouths. That is not surprising, answered Merry, for it is an art which we have not practised for more than a few generations. It was Tobold Hornblower or Longbottom in the South Farthing who first grew the true pipeweed in his gardens, about the year 1070 according to our reckoning. How old Toby came by the plant. You do not know your danger, Theoden, interrupted Gandalf. These hobbits will sit on the edge of ruin and discuss the pleasures of the table or the small doings of their fathers, grandfathers and great-grandfathers and remote cousins to the 9th degree if you encourage them with undue patience. Some other time would be more fitting for the history of smoking. Where is Treebeard, Merry? Away on the north side, I believe. He went to get a drink of clean water. Most of the other Ents are with him, still busy at their work, over there. Merry waved his hand towards the steaming lake, and as they looked, they heard a distant rumbling and rattling, as if an avalanche was falling from the mountainside. Far away came a hum-hum, as of horns blowing triumphantly. And is Orthanc then left unguarded? Asked Gandalf. There is the water, said Merry, but Quickbeam and some others are watching it. Not all those posts and pillars in the plain are of Saruman's planting. Quickbeam, I think, is by the rock near the foot of the stair. Yes, a tall grey Ent is there, said Legolas, but his arms are at his sides, and he stands as still as a door-tree. It is past noon, said Gandalf, and we at any rate have not eaten since early morning, yet I wish to see Treebeard as soon as may be. Did he leave me no message, or has plate and bottle driven it from your mind? He left a message, said Merry, and I was coming to it, but I have been hindered by many other questions. I was to say that if the Lord of the Mark and Gandalf will ride to the northern wall, they will find Treebeard there, and he will welcome them. I may add that they will also find food of the best there. It was discovered and selected by your humble servants. He bowed. Gandalf laughed. That is better, he said. Well, Theoden, will you ride with me to find Treebeard? We must go round about, but it is not far. When you see Treebeard, you will learn much, for Treebeard is Fangorn, and the eldest and chief of the Ents, and when you speak with him, you will hear the speech of the oldest of all living things. I will come with you, said Theoden. Farewell, my hobbits. May we meet again in my house. There you shall sit beside me, and tell me of your great heart's desire, the deeds of your grandsires, as far as you can reckon them, and we will speak also of Tobold the Old and his herb-lore. Farewell. The hobbits bowed low. So that is the King of Rohan, said Pippin in an undertone. A fine old fellow, very polite.